Hello, folks. Welcome to my channel. I thank all the people for visiting my channel. A big thank you to the people who agree with my perspectives. A big thank you to the people who disagree with my perspectives. The reason why I thank you is that for the time that you had spent listening to my audio. Said that, let's dive into today's topic. That's illegal immigration, or the people who come the people who come illegally into the country. I'm going to talk about them, and then I'm going to talk about the people who legally come into the country but then do illegal activities. So let's dive in. Now, talking about illegal immigration, there's a lot of talk about illegal immigration, and there is a political viewpoint also to that. And there is a lot of politicians who talk about illegal immigration. There are politicians who support it. At the same time, there are politicians who disagree with illegal immigration. Now, when you talk about illegal immigration, or when the topic arises, a general thought is that, or general focus is on Mexico and the southern border of the United States. That's where we think that illegal immigrants come from. Yeah, it's true for most part of it, and we think that Latinos, that is people coming from Central America, are the main contingent of this illegal immigration. Now, I would like to make certain amendments to that thought. When you see people coming from the south, they are not only Latinos. People have learned that the southern border of United States is fragile, and hence it is not only Latinos who come in as illegal immigrants or come in illegally. There are people who come from the Indian subcontinent too illegally. How they come? They pay lump sum amounts like 50 lakhs rupees or 60 lakhs rupees or even 75 lakhs rupees of Indian money or their own currency to all the dealers, the people who arrange their illegal entry into the US. Even the Latinos, the people who enter through the southern border illegally, it's not that they have a cool walk into the into the borders of US. They are actually controlled by certain groups in the southern border. They could be from Mexico or from any Latino country. It's just that they just can't walk into the US border without the people would want to come into the US. They just can't walk into the US border without their permission or without giving them a lump sum amount. These people who walk into the US border, they undergo a lot of problems, mentally and physically, because they are controlled. They are controlled by these groups. And who do you think enter these southern borders? They're the people, they're not rich people who enter. Rich people find a way, to legally immigrate into the country. They're not the poor people, actually. The poor people are people who live in poverty because they don't have money to pay these groups. It's the middle class or the lower middle class who want a better living, who want to, improve their living. They pay a lump sum amount for them and their family to these groups, and they walk in. There is no guarantee that they will enter into the United States, but they pay these groups. It may or may not happen for them, a life in the United States. So these groups control who comes into the United States. And it is not only the Latinos. The main focus is on Latinos. People talk about, Mexicans coming in, they bring drugs and things like that, but it is not only Latinos who come through the southern border. people from the Indian subcontinent, and as far as I know, but there could be other, people from other communities too who use the southern border, who use this facility, who use this illegal facility to come into the country. Okay, they come into the country, they seek asylum, and the government helps them out. They have a route to citizenship too, based on their behavior and things like that. Yeah, and they get to pay, they get to work, they get to pay their taxes too. Yeah, the government has made certain arrangements for that. Okay, good. Accountability is there, not 100%, but there is some kind of accountability, but it is not perfect. But at the same time, the government should make measures to make it perfect, because when a person comes into the country illegally, if he's not accountable in any ways, let's say for paying taxes, or if he's not under the radar of the government, there could be a lot of things that are happening, from the criminal point of view. They could end up being criminals. They could even harm the illegal the residents in the US. But on the other hand, they could become victims of the dark web. They could become potential victims of the dark web. How? Because the government doesn't know who this person is. They don't have a name. The government doesn't have his or her records. He or she is someone nameless. They don't have any records. The government doesn't have any records of them. So they are potential victims of the dark web. The dark web, the people who do the dark web, they can swallow these people because they don't have an identity. Even if they go missing, you cannot search them. It is not possible. How can you search someone who doesn't have an identity? So they become victims of dark web too. So talking about illegal immigration and the people who come illegally into this country through the southern border, it is not only Latinos. People from the Indian subcontinent, they come through the southern border. They pay a lot of money. They seek asylum, saying that their condition in their home country is not good, which can be completely, or which could be completely, a false statement. Now, coming into the legal immigrants, there are people who enter the country legally too. Now, what do? Do they all follow follow all the rules and regulations? Do they follow all the laws? Let's take it one by one. Let's talk about the B2 immigration visas. People use the B2 immigration visas to come into the country. It's for visiting the country. They're allowed to be here for 6 months. Now there are three kinds of people when it comes to B2 visiting visa immigrants, or let's say the people who visit the US. One are the people who come here, visit the country, enjoy staying here, and leave back in time. They religiously follow the rules and regulations of the country. They don't do any kind of illegal activities. They come here, see if there are any opportunities available. They love the country. That's why they visit US. They want to find if they have any legal opportunities to stay here, to build a life over here. So they come in legally, and they also leave legally within the 6 months. Within the time of 6 months. Now that's one category. Now then the next one. The next two are the illegal ones, who come legal but they do illegal things. The second category of people, they come, they work, they work here illegally. They come on a visiting visa paper and they start working here. They don't pay taxes at all. Imagine, compare their lives. Let's say there are two families. One, these two families, or the breadwinner of these two families, gets the same amount of pay, the gross pay. Let's say it's around $600 per week. Now, one gets to take the whole lump sum of $600 home, and the other one pays his taxes. Do you understand the difference that makes? Do you understand the difference that it makes to the family of that person, the lifestyle they live? You might think it's just a difference of $150 per week. It equals to $600, more than $600 per month, a little more than $600. With this $600, it even changes the lifestyle, what they live. A visit to the restaurant, or the children getting a better toy. So there is a lifestyle difference. Now, this is the second category where people come in with a B2 visa. They work illegally. They go back home. Again, they come back after some time, use this 6 months to illegally earn money. They don't pay any taxes for that. Now, the third category, they come in through the B2 visa. They start working here illegally, but they don't return within this, after 6 months. They stay here illegally. They start working, they keep on working. And with the help of the black coats, they even find a way to stay here. They somehow find ways. That's the loopholes. Through the loopholes present in the system, they stay here. Now tell me something. What about the people who adhere to laws? There are people who religiously follow the system. There are people who religiously follow the laws and regulations in the system. And what happens to them? What happens to their family when compared to these people who illegally earn money? The lifestyle changes. I gave you an example of $600 earning per week. The lifestyle changes. There are families who pay taxes and who are not able to give the same lifestyle as the people who don't pay the taxes. There is a wrong notion that is spread actually about hard work. People think, if you do hard work, it should be paid off. It doesn't matter whether it is legal or illegal. How can that be true? If you work illegally, or if you don't work under the law, or if you don't work through righteous ways, and if you do your hard work, is it good? Now tell me something. If that is true, if working hard and working illegally, or not working righteously, is good, then Hitler should be praised. Hitler didn't come one fine day and say that, hey buddies, I want to be the leader of the German community. Follow me. And the people started following. No. He went through so many hardships from his childhood that he reached to become the Führer of Germany. It wasn't easy for him. He went through many hardships. He worked hard to become the leader of Germany. Said that he went through a lot of hardships. So said that he's gone through a lot of hardships. Should he be praised? Or should he be criticized for not following a righteous path, for killing so many people in the history of the world. Everybody knows Hitler's actions and how they turned out to be a deathbed for many out there, for many communities too. Was he right? He was a hard worker. He worked hard to reach his position. So, did he do the right thing? It's not only Hitler. There are many individuals who have worked hard to reach a position. Talk about the crime bosses. Talk about the drug dealers. Talk about the the muggers. All these people work hard for what they earn. It's not easy to be a crime boss. It's not easy to be a drug dealer. Said that they work hard. Said that, do these people need to be congratulated? Do these people need to be talked about high? You know, do these people need a positive recognition? Because they work hard. Or should they be called people who learned or who earned money through illegal ways, who didn't earn money or recognition or fame through the righteous manner? See, if it is about upholding laws, then laws should be about equality. Because when you do things illegally, or if you don't follow the righteous path, it's not only the individual that reaps the benefits, but also his family. Now, talk about the greatest, one of the greatest dons in India. He's still been sought out. He's still being looked out by the Indian government, yet to be found. He worked hard for his position. Dawood Ibrahim, he worked hard for his position. It's not that one fine day he came and became a leader of a huge crime, a crime syndicate. No, he worked hard. You would have had a terrible childhood. You would have confronted many, many, many enemies in his life. His life would have been in threat in many ways. But still he reached to become the leader of a crime syndicate, a famous one. That's not easy. That doesn't come without any hard work. It's just that he chose a path that is away from the legal path to success. Now, any individual can choose a path to success or fame or earning money. But it's the laws and regulations and the righteousness that governs this path. If hard work is the only thing that is to be appreciated, then Hitler should be appreciated. Dawood Ibrahim should be appreciated. Why aren't they appreciated? Why are communities or why are people looking down upon them? So people know that they didn't follow the right way, the right path. And to bring more sore into the American eyes, let's talk about Russia itself. Many in the US, they don't like Putin. They criticize him for invading Ukraine. But let me ask you one thing. Putin is the president of Russia. Did he become the president of Russia without any hard work? Did he just come out of the blue one day and talk to all Russians? Hey, Russians, I want to lead y'all. Come follow me. And the Russians say, oh, okay, buddy, I'll follow you. No, it didn't happen like that. He went through a lot of hardships. He worked hard to what he is today. He was able to overcome his enemies. He was able to overcome his opponents. And today, he's the leader of Russia. It was not easy for him. He worked hard. But yet, do you think he should be criticized? Or do you think he should be negatively criticized for invading Ukraine? Do you think he should be celebrated for being a great leader because of his hard work? Or should he be criticized for invading Ukraine? Now, let's come to the next set of people who enter illegally. Now, there are college students too, apart from people who visit the U.S. or who come into the country illegally from the southern border. There are people who come here to study too under the F visa. There are certain laws for these people, for these students, for working in the U.S. Like you're not allowed to work off campus in the first year, and they are they can work off campus in the second year based on various criteria. Now let's compare students who follow the rules and regulations, and let's compare the students who don't follow the rules and regulations to work in the US while they study. There are students who religiously follow the rules and regulations. They work only on campus if they get a job on campus, or they restrain themselves from working off campus because they don't have the work permit. But there are students who go that extra mile, daring, break the rules and laws and regulations, who work off campus. Now, there is no accountability for the money earned by these students. They earn money by breaking the rules and breaking the laws and regulations. Where does this money go? Of course, into their pockets. There's no tax. You cannot pay, but they don't pay tax for this money because it is illegally earned. How can you pay taxes for the money that you've earned illegally? Now compare these two student groups. One lives a life of righteousness. They adhere to the rules, laws, and regulations of this country, and the other group doesn't. Think about the lifestyle of these two groups. Think about the hardships faced by these two groups. The ones who pay attention, or who follow the rules and regulations, who adhere to the laws of this country, they suffer, while the other group is able to mitigate the suffering. Now, how is this called equality? States like New York State talk a lot about progressiveness. They talk a lot about socialism. They talk about well-being. They talk a lot about talk a lot of immigrants and immigration, about welcoming more people. Fine, I totally agree their point. But what about treating people equally? Why should the people who adhere to the rules, laws, and regulation of this country be facing problems? while the groups that don't follow laws, rules, and regulations have to lead a better life or a better lifestyle. The question is all about equality and accountability. How lifestyle changes when you do something illegally and when you don't do something illegally. There are states which don't collect taxes for income. Why should people who pay taxes face all the problems? If you're so concerned about immigrants, why not you make it that people don't have to pay any taxes? Yeah, everybody can earn money. Everybody can live a life of equality. Everybody can reap the fruits. Why is it that people who follow the rules have to suffer? Now, coming to the next, case of visa, people who come here through H-1B visa. There are a lot of people who come from India through the H-1B visa, and I know a lot of people who religiously work, who don't break the rules, laws, and regulations of this country. They don't do any extra earnings. Now there are another set of people who do 2-3 jobs at the same time, illegally. Their earnings are more than their legal friends. They might be working in the same company. They might be working in the same community. The difference is that one set of people follow the rules and regulations, the other set doesn't. What happens in this case? Think about the families in each group. The person who is able to work illegally or work a lot of illegal jobs is able to give a better life to his family, to himself. Think about the children. Compare the lifestyle enjoyed by the children in these two groups. A child doesn't receive a better lifestyle because his or her father or mother is earning money legally, while a child on the other side, where his or her father or mother earns money illegally. Why should there be so much difference when children are compared? Is this equality? This isn't equality. This is not progressiveness. This is about, supporting the people who break the law. This is about supporting the people who don't follow any rules and regulations. Where is the accountability? Coming back to the B2 laws, the B2 visas. I know someone who comes to this country. He religiously stays only for 6 months, not more than 6 months. He goes back, following rules and regulations. He spends all the money that he has earned in his home country. He comes here, he plays cricket, and he goes back. He doesn't, break the rules and regulations. Now, there could be a chance that he would not be allowed into this country. Why should that happen? Now compare him with a person who has come into this country on visiting visa, then extends his stay by breaking the rules and regulations, laws of this country. Well, he's able to, bear the fruits, or he's able to receive the fruits of this country, but the other one who follows the rules and regulations is not able to receive the fruits of this country. Why is that? This is really bad. This is not equality. You're not treating someone equally. And this is not progressiveness. This is supporting criminalism. So in various categories of visa, we find that there are people who adhere to the rules and laws and regulations of this country, and there are people who don't. The only thing that happens is that the people who break the law, the people who break the rules and regulations are able to have a better life. They are not only able to have a better life, they are able to provide a better life to their family, which includes children. Where is the Human Development Index score in this regard? Why should US be given a better HDI when there is no equality, when it doesn't treat people equally? It is not just, about the visa status. Even for various other things, race comes into play. There are particular, soft corners for a particular race. I'm talking about the minorities, not the majorities. Among the minorities, a particular race is given, special treatment. Why is that? A minority is a minority. Just because the minority has very few people, they're not given enough. And just because a minority has a better percentage in the population, a better vote percentage, they are given more consideration. There is more concern for them. Is this equality? I understand there are a lot of sympathizers for illegal immigration, illegal work. They think that they are hardworking. I totally understand your point. But think about the people who do work legally, who don't surrender their righteousness, who earn every penny through righteous means. I know someone. He comes to this country. In fact, he came to this country through an H-1B visa. He doesn't work illegally. He doesn't break the rules, laws, and regulations of this country. But he finds it hard for supporting his family when compared to his peers, when compared to some of his colleagues who are able to break the rules, laws, and regulations of this country by working 2-3 jobs illegally. They earn a lot of money. They don't pay taxes for the money that they earn illegally. This work from home schedule has provided people to do 2-3 jobs at the same time. There are many of my friends who have come to this country on H-1B visa. They work religiously. They work following the rules, laws, and regulations. And yet there are people who break the rules, laws, and regulations. They work 2-3 jobs at the same time. They pay taxes for only one job they worked, while the other 2 or 3 gets unnoticed. They're not under the radar of the IRS. They don't pay taxes for this money. And they are able to provide a better standard of living to their family, which includes children. Why should children suffer? Why should children suffer? Because their parent is able to follow or is following the rules, laws, and regulations which this country has laid. People shouldn't suffer by following rules, laws, and regulations. It is simple, period. It's not only they, it's not only their families that should suffer, and not only and their children too shouldn't suffer, because they follow the rules, laws, and regulations religiously. Think about this, people. Folks, think about it. Think about the lifestyle. Think about the lifestyle when you earn money illegally. And think about the lifestyle when you earn money legally. Think about the taxes that you pay. Simple example is like, the minimum basic in Long Island, $15 is the basic. Now there is a difference between a person earning $15 and paying his taxes, and there is a and the other person who earns $15 an hour and doesn't pay taxes. Now again, this is where the business, the people who do business can exploit these people who work illegally. Businesses, they don't show any accountability on these people who earn money illegally. They bargain with these people. Instead of paying $15, they even pay $10 or $12. The people, they do work illegally. At the same time, even businesses exploit them by paying a less amount of pay. They pay them less than what a legal immigrant is to be paid, or a person who has a legal status in this country to work. Now, how is this right? On what grounds is this right? Now, when you talk about people entering into this country illegally, it could be anyone who enters this country illegally. Let's say that a person from the Indian subcontinent enters into this country illegally. It's been around more than 2 decades since 9/11. Do you think that people only from the Middle East, or who belong to a certain community, are responsible for terrorist acts? Now, how do you recognize these people? It's either by the origin of their country, or by their name, or the religion they follow. What if a person, as I said, it's been more than 20 years, 2 decades since 9/11, has entered a country in the Indian subcontinent, lives there for 10, 15 years, is able to make things, is able to build a background for him, showing that he was, or he is a legal resident of that particular country in the Indian subcontinent. And what if this person has ulterior motives? He can enter this country illegally, and he can do all sorts of damages. What is the certainty that such people don't enter the United States, or for any country? the ground level security, they just go by names, they just go by seeing the people, the car or people, or some kind of recognition, some kind of identity is there in their mind, so they go by this. How will they be able to recognize these people? Now, talking about the ground security, these are the frontline workers actually. Who are these frontline workers? Talking about frontline workers, they are the police personnel, they are the security guards who work, they are the nurses who work. These are the people who file the W-2 form every year. And these are the people who religiously pay taxes because they don't have any other option available. They have to file their taxes. They have to pay their taxes. During COVID, there was a lot of people saying that, oh, the frontline workers, let's appreciate them. They've done so much of work. They've done so much of hard work. Now tell me something. If you really care for these frontline workers, these are the people who religiously pay their taxes. Compare the lifestyle given by these people to their family, including children, and compare to the lifestyle where people earn money illegally. They come into this country legally with a legal visa, and they work illegally. They don't pay taxes for certain earnings of their income. Think about the lifestyle they provide to their family, including children. Do children get the same amount of lifestyle? Do children get the same lifestyle? No, there is a huge difference. Then what is the point of appreciating these frontline workers? What is the point of appreciating police personnel? What is the point of appreciating nurses? It's just a word of appreciation, that's it. You just appreciate them through your mouth. Oh, they did a good job. What about lifestyle? What about giving them a lifestyle? What about equality? Are they treated equally when compared to some of the persons who don't pay taxes? It's all about money. The more money you have, the better the lifestyle, the more better things that you can give to your children. It is not only the family that suffers, it is the children too who are inclusive in that family. Think about the children. Progressiveness is all about treating everyone equally rather than giving certain soft corners, or rather than behaving softly with people who break the rules, laws, and regulations. That could, parallelly, think about guns. Do you think the people who obey the rules and laws and regulations, they misuse the guns? No. It's the criminals. The criminals can get the guns no matter what rules and regulations are there in place. Take Chicago, for instance. Do these people who play with the guns over there, who use the guns to kill people, did they obtain all these guns legally? No matter how strict the laws are, criminals will find a way to get guns. And if you are talking about illegal guns in this country, and if you're talking about people killed by illegal guns, please do talk about the people who earn money illegally. And there is also intimidation by business owners. They don't, they intimidate the people who come and ask them for jobs. Like, I can pay you only off the books. They make people work more than 40 hours. They don't pay them the time and a half required after 40 hours of work. They pay them through cash. And if they don't agree, they don't get the job. So businesses too, they take advantage of people who want to work illegally by not providing the right salary, by not providing the right pay per hour. Now, how are politicians going to tackle this problem? Politicians and politics are part of this problem, actually. And you can't blame them too. In the end of the day, what matters is how they get their votes. So they have to corroborate with these people who break the rules, laws, and regulations. They have to cooperate with these businesses, which take advantage of the loopholes in the system. Because at the end of the day, these politicians, be it any, they need money to canvass. So the politicians and politics, they are and is part of this problem. Now, who is there to voice for all the people who work righteously? It's just not one or two. There are many huge. Think about the people who file the W-2 forms. It's a huge number. Frontline workers, police officers, nurses, security guards, fire personnel. There are a lot of people, a lot of people who pay their taxes religiously. Who's going to voice for them? Is the system all about supporting businesses that work illegally? Does the system only support people who earn illegally and neglect the people who pay their taxes religiously? How is this equality? How is this called equality? This isn't progressiveness. People, you have to think. Folks, you need to think. Another thing is that, people talk about, there are politicians who talk about, scrapping of the student loan. Tell me something. What about the people who have already paid their loans? Who have already paid their loans, going through all these hardships? Will they be refunded? Yes, you're talking about student loans, scrapping the student loans. Will the students who have already paid the student loan be refunded? That's equality. Just scrapping the loans of students who have loans at present is not equality. It's also about refunding the people who have already paid the loans. That's equality. Just like this. People who haven't paid taxes in the past should be made accountable to the money that they earned retrospectively. It's not about going forward to, it's about what they earned in the past. What is the IRS doing? Doesn't IRS have a track about how much people earn? Doesn't IRS track the H-1B visas, the people who hold H-1B visas? There is a difference between people who do a single job legally and the people who do 2 3 jobs illegally. Does the IRS track them? Doesn't the IRS track people who come into this country through a visiting visa? Then they work, earn money illegally, and then they start living here without returning. What are the people who come here through visiting visa for 6 months? They stay here, they earn money illegally, and then they get back. Where is the accountability? So that I would like to finish this audio segment, and I would like to thank all the listeners, and I wish you have a wonderful day. Until my next video, see you then. Have a wonderful time. Thank you for visiting my channel, and a big thanks to the people who understand my perspective, and the big thanks to people who are against my perspective or who are not with me, but I still thank you for spending the time to listen to this audio. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Take care.